Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports Coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Bucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy and you probably smell the crooked referees on Roger Goodell. Yeah, probably like this and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this and I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
All right. Shout out to the mighty Who That Nation, man. We in this thing representing the Sports Coma. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, where we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports fam. Hope you guys having a fantastic start of your week, man. Much love to the fam. It's starting to warm up out there, man. We are definitely headed into another hot summer, man. But big ups to the fam. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope your families are doing well. Hope you guys are being productive. Hope you guys are all good out there. So shout out to the fam. Appreciate you for stopping by on this Monday episode of The Coma. Big ups to the fam. Appreciate everybody in the building. OG Jerry is in this thing. M. Nelson, shout out to you, brother. Good to see you, Mr. Fire D. Brother Rose Slim is in this thing. Brother Torrey Shepherd Sr., shout out to you, brother. Good to see you as always, my brother. Much love. Brother Gundam in this thing as well, says Q. The answer is no. Dennis Allen gloss over it like light speed, fam. Listen, we're going to cover some of this today, fam. I'm going to play at least 3 of the 4 interviews today, fam. We're going to go over some of those things today on the show, and we'll talk about it. We'll hash it out like we always do. Yin, shout out to you, fam. Good to see you. Appreciate you for being in the stream. Much love to all my queens out there. Dana, shout out to you. Good to see you as well. Everybody, man. Trav 504, brother Derek's in this thing. Appreciate you, bro. Farouk is in this thing. Big ups to you, my brother. Appreciate you for stopping by. Brian, shout out to you, bro. L Dub, how you doing, sir? All right, appreciate you, man. Much love. C Bama says, yes, Lattimore. Stay home. Who that? Now let them get swole. And we younger start giving hits with young mind offensive coordinator. Who that? Thank you, C Bama. Much love, man. Appreciate you. What's up, Cheryl? Shout out to the Queens. And we'll go over that, man. Now listen. I want Lattimore to stay, man. I think Lattimore came up in the Who That Nation, man. He loves the Who That Nation. I don't want to see Lattimore go. I think it's a bad idea. If something led to that, and we know what's coming out was the fact that Lattimore wants to leave is because of differences with Dennis Allen not liking the direction of the team. That is the reason. Wasn't contractual, wasn't any of that other stuff. It was the fact that he did not like the direction of the team. He was one of those, quote, fractured, unquote, players that they said that didn't exist. And Dennis Allen will play it, but he said it toward the back end of it, which some people are saying, yeah, man, that ends the speculation. And I don't know. I'm going to listen to it again with you guys, but it wasn't definitive to me. It didn't sound definitive. We're going to move on. What does that mean? Does that mean? And shout out to Mike Triplett, man. Mike Triplett was the one that asked that question. that got some good. It's always either Mike Triplett or Nick Underhill or one of the three I always talk about. It's always those guys that get the information that we want to know. It's always those guys. So I like to credit them for getting this information because a lot of the guys we're going to listen to, because we're going to listen to three of them today, Cam, Mickey, and Dennis. But we listen to, get this information. And I think out of all the information that they uncovered today or what was revealed today, the biggest information was the Lattimore reveal, which was pretty much Mike Triplett on the back end. The last question before Dennis Allen said, okay, yeah, I'm about to go. So guys, also, I like to give them a shout out. You got to give them people the credit, man. You got to give them, because when you do that and you shout people out when they do stuff that they're supposed to do, you encourage them to keep doing it. So I just appreciate those guys for doing what they do and how they do it, man. I really do, because we wouldn't have gotten this information if it wasn't for those guys, man. But yes, it wasn't definitive in my book. And I listened to it like 3 times and I was like, and I'm going to listen to it again. But some people feel like it was, some don't. I'm like, I want them to stay. I don't want them to trade Lattimore because it would be a bad idea. But June 1st, between June, I'm still going to be keeping an eye out between those dates, that timeline, because it wasn't like, yeah, he's staying. It was like, we're moving forward. What does that exactly mean? But anyway, we moving forward together as a team or together. And, we talked to him 2 to 3 weeks ago because I'm a part detective. And I said 2 to 3 weeks ago. Well, 2 or 3 weeks ago places us here where Mickey Loomis says New Orleans Saints are not actively trying to trade the team's elite cornerback. It would fall in that time frame. Because I was like 2 to 3 weeks ago, so I cycled back. And this is where it put us at. He's not actively. And we talked about, what does active mean? Active means they're not soliciting or going out and calling people for trades. They are instead, taking in calls. And that's not a secret because Mickey said as much. Mickey Loomis said as much as like, that they listen to offers. They're not going out actively looking for offers, but people are sending them offers and they're listening. And you can't, the contract is set up, everything's set up for him to be traded. He was disgruntled about the direction of the team. But 2 to 3 weeks ago, that's where this place is at, right at this time frame. Shout out to brother Kyle T. Mosley, who wrote this article and did a really good job on it. But today, Saints star cornerback moving forward following trade chatter. I don't know. We're going to play it again, fam. Y'all kind of educate me and let me know what you guys heard. Cause I'm kind of, I was looking for and saying, man, that don't sound definitive to me. It didn't say to me, hey man, we're moving forward. We're moving forward with the trade. You see what I'm saying? And he really didn't want to ask that question. Cause right after that question, he kind of got the hell out of Dodge after that. Cause he knew what was coming next. All right, but big ups to the fan. We're going to listen to it today. Argentina and Dogo says, hey, Q, they better keep him. Yeah, I don't think he should go anywhere. I agree. Thank you, brother Jerry. I don't think he should go anywhere. I think Marshon Lattimore is a fantastic cornerback. I love how our cornerbacks are. I absolutely love the secondary that we have. I think that our secondary could be, if not the best, but a top 5 a secondary unit in the entire NFL. That secondary unit has played really well at times over the recent years. And I think they can be the best in the game if we just hash all this stuff out and keep, Laddie Daddy where he belongs in the black and gold uniform. And then also with the Saints acquisitions up front with Chase Young, and you look at Carl Granderson's maturation, he's coming out, he's going to be firing on all cylinders. Cam Jordan losing a lot of weight, getting smallish again, dropping weight down and talking about that foot healing up so he can go full steam in the next couple of years. So Cam dropping weight to get more streamlined to attack. So, and then Chase Young getting healthy, all those great things, the additions of the interior players, inside of the line, the maturation of Brian Bresee and stuff like that. So I love the direction, the Willie Gay signing. if he beats out Pete Werner for the linebacker position, bringing that speed and versatility to the linebacker core next to Demario Davis. All of that has a positive effect and very well could launch the Saints into top 10, top 5 status. And we know they can be very good depending on if some of those things work out. But I'm dead set against trading Lattimore. If he's a team cancer, that's one thing. If he wants out, or but this is an issue between him and the head coach for the direction of the team, which you can't be upset about, because there's a lot of weird stuff that Dennis Allen done that I've never seen that I never seen head coaches do in watching football. So, hopefully it doesn't get that way. All right. So anyway, all right. Top Up says I voted A on some. Okay. Thank you, Top Up. Appreciate you for voting. How you doing, Brother John? Good to see you in the chat, man. Appreciate you. TJ Scottzilla, what's happening, brother? How you doing? Mark says, do you think Mickey will fire Dennis Allen if the Saints don't? Absolutely. I do think so. Yes, I do, sir. If the Saints don't make the playoffs, Dennis Allen is gone. There's no way Mickey Loomis could protect him. I mean, you can't justify it. If you don't, it'll be 4 years, 3 under Dennis Allen. If that scenario plays out, is no way he can survive that. Absolutely not. No playoffs mean Dennis Allen must be fired. He must be fired. So yes, I agree. I think definitely that'll be the case. All right. H-Town Creole says, man, this is a weird organization. They let Malcolm Jenkins walk, paying noodles, arm breeze. Now they're taking advice from unproven coach on all-pro cornerback, dysfunctional at best. All right, thank you, bro. Quivadius says they're going to keep him this year and trade him next year. GM Kev says, keep an eye on this. The other teams like Lattimore contract. DA is sneaky, trust nothing. Ken says, Q, I'm sure you're a super nice guy, but this is like Wet Blanket Network. Pick up a day. Listen. It's not Wet Blanket Network. Stop looking at it like that. I'm not going to come up here and just, dazzle you with BS, flim flam you with nonsense. It's not wet blanket. You got to lift up your perspective. What we're talking about is, when we talk about some of these people, you can't get around the people that's directing the team, bro. And it's like it's nearly, I don't see it as a positive or negative. What I see it as is truth. If it's the truth, it's the truth. The truth shall set you free. It's not about, you got all this stuff got to come out, bro. It's got to come out. It's got to come out, because if it don't come out, how are we supposed to fix the direction of the team? There's a lot of stuff going on underneath the, veneer of what's going on. But bro, at the end of the day, man, listen, it's truth. I don't look at it as positive nor negative. It's truth. If it's the truth, it's the truth. It's the bottom line. And the truth shall set you free. That's how I look at it. So if it's a fact, it's a fact. If it's not a fact, it's not a fact. I don't look at it as this, that, or a third, because I don't believe in fluffy nonsense anyway. I really don't, bro. I really don't believe in giving, because I wouldn't be keeping it real if I would come out here and just tell you everything is going to be all right and stuff like that. Listen, all I can show you is what they did the last 2 years, and then what they're doing now, and then you make your mind up on what you think is going to happen, But a lot of people feel one way and other people are feeling one way, but they welcome to feel how they feel, man, until this team show us otherwise, my brother. But appreciate you, man. All right. Kevin says, every time I wake up, I'm looking for an article. No, that's not going to happen. All right. Kvita says they're going to try to see how it works this year and try to trade Lattimore. We're going to see, bro. We're going to see how it all hashes out. 504 Coast says, Q, not only should we not trade Lattimore, but double down and get Justin Simmons too. I hear you, fam. Keith Stalwart says, off topic, would you rather Delvin Cook over Jamal? Delvin had pretty good years under Kubiak. That's very interesting, Keith. Man, because what Delvin Cook gives you something Jamal Williams doesn't give you, man. When healthy, he's a multi-purpose back. He does a lot of spectacular things. I'm not going to say like Alvin Kamara, because there's none like Alvin, but similar, to catching the ball, catching the ball out the backfield. You can line him up, multi-purpose back. Jamal's more like a north-south type of guy, a one-cut power runner. But yeah, he does have some versatility, man. That will be interesting, man. If he's healthy, that will be an interesting pickup. Kevin said, why would the Rams trade Jalen Ramsey for a 3rd-round pick? Jack says, when Mickey fires Dennis, he's going to leave a list of worst coaches compare. Mott says Mickey will promote Kubiak. That's the obvious plan. They allow Kubiak to fill his offensive staff and input his drafting Spencer Rattler. If Dennis Allen starts out 0-4, he would be fired. I think they're going to be pretty patient. They're not going to fire him after 4 games, Mott. I don't think they're going to do that. H-Town says if the community doesn't start pressing the Saints front office, they'll keep fleecing the state out of Louisiana City. That's what I'm saying, though, bro. That's when people talk about, man. Fam, listen. All I can say is, like, remember, go back to your roots, your who dat roots. The Saints haven't made the playoffs in 3 years. Not saying they're not making the playoffs this year, but there's a lot of stuff that goes into the Saints not having a type of success. It's not all tied to injuries. A lot of it tied to team direction. A lot of it ties to the fact that leadership is not doing what it's supposed to do when it's supposed to do it. In season, decisions are not being made when they're supposed to be made. That really helped to hurt the Saints. What I'm trying to say, last year, you see, if you go back and you look at and see, when I look at these games, I do the play-by-play, I do the research, I listen to all of the stuff, and I hear everything they say. I hear it all, fam. I hear it all. And when I do these shows, I say, fam, y'all remember this, y'all remember that, because sometimes people get lost in the details. We forget the details. We forget the fact that the Saints lost some of these games in the back end because they couldn't get in the red zone. I mentioned this the last show. They couldn't get in the red zone. They couldn't score in the red zone. The Saints would get down there, have to kick a field goal. Sometimes they were too far out to kick a field goal, or they tried to do something, it wouldn't work. They couldn't get in the end zone. And then Jimmy Graham sitting on the sideline, waiting to get in. They kept him there. People was asking, why isn't Jimmy Graham playing to help you? People forget those details. And he was healthy, though. Why didn't you put him in? Well, that's something on Pete Carmichael. Why didn't Dennis Allen press him? He's the head coach to get him in there. Why didn't he do this? Why didn't he do that? These things help, and then you make the changes. They help you to win the game at the time. And that's what I'm saying. If that doesn't change, if that type of decision making isn't implemented when it's needed during the season, when games are going to count, you're going to continue to lose games. But, like I said, there has to be a change in philosophy somewhere. It has to be. And me covering that up and shooting past that and not addressing that is disingenuous, because I'm telling you, it's this a detail-centric business, especially even more impactful during the season. And the Saints would not make the adjustments when they were supposed to, and that led to losses. Coaches wasn't doing what they were supposed to do, and that's on the head coach, because he's supposed to be checking all of these people out and making sure they're doing their jobs. He's supposed to be doing evaluations on his coaches. And if certain coaches are not doing what they're supposed to do, they're supposed to be, taken down, and others are supposed to be elevated in position to help whatever position group they come from have more success. They might not be speaking the language the players are, want to listen to. You might have somebody that has, it's a better communicator that can reach the people. Sometimes you need to do that. And that just didn't happen. So, like I said, you're more than happy to, you're more than welcome to feel the way you feel about the New Orleans Saints. And listen, I'm not going to ridicule you. I'm not going to put you down. I'm really not, man. All I'm going to do is just keep it $1.50. I'll keep it $1.15, like I say, fam, and just do the knowledge and just watch and see what's going to happen with our black and gold, man, because I want them to succeed. I really do. I'm just sick of the 9 playoff funk. I'm sick of the excuses, and I want this stuff fixed, and it's not that goddamn hard to do it. I want it fixed, and you have to put pressure on these people to make sure they handle business, or they'll just keep screwing it up. They'll keep taking your money as long as you give it to them. We got to press on these people, fam. Just like our people from back in the day used to do when they brung out the bags. They brung out the bags. They ain't just bring out the bags. At first, it was telling the team, hey, man, y'all got to change this around. The team kept doing what they've been doing. And then people got serious. They ratcheted up the level. How more patient you going to want people to be? How more patient is the Who Dat Nation supposed to be with the Saints? I mean, what they supposed to be? How long are they supposed to wait just for a freaking playoff game? I mean, how long? How long are they supposed to wait? How long is it? How long are they supposed to suffer with mediocrity? When I'm making jokes like, "Come suffer with us," how long are they supposed to suffer? How long are they supposed to be sitting with a team that they know is supposed to be winning but constantly underachieving? How long are you supposed to allow them to be put up? How long are you supposed to let that happen or put up with that? Come on, that's a done daughter there, baby. All right, but anyway, let me go ahead and jump into this. Shout out to every man. We appreciate you for being in the stream, man. But listen, I want you guys to continue to do what you're doing. Continue to keep it real. Continue to support those who are keeping it real, and continue to call out shit when you see it. Call the facts forward. Continue to put it out there. Because like I said, there are people right now that's trying to paint narratives to protect the Saints because they know they failing, and instead of doing what they're supposed to do, it's easier just to propagandize at your ass, to throw at you and tell you, hey, or use pressure techniques like you're not this or you're not that. We don't. That's elementary nonsense. And for the great Saint think tank and the entire Who Dat Nation, we keep our eye on the prize, and the prize is playoffs. That's the lowest the bar is set. We talking playoffs. And really, we talk about playoff and the win. Come on. Playoffs and the win. And it's not like we don't have the team. I mean, we are wasting away some of the remaining years of DeMario Davis and Cam and Tyrann Mathieu. We got these guys here, and we're wasting away these terrific players. Right now, all the years we should have been in the playoffs competing. Last year, Tampa Bay should have never have won the NFC South. How long are we supposed to wait? I mean, tell me, answer that. How long are we supposed to put up with mediocrity and wait for the Saints to finally get it right? And they talking like they talking crazy. I don't know, fam. That's the question that y'all got to ask yourself. All right. Yeah, I heard it. Yeah, I heard the Shanley. That kind of pissed me off with Garrett Shanley. I mean, not Garrett Shanley. I'm about to say Garrett Shanley. What's his name? Scott Shanley, the linebacker from the Saints. And I actually think Shanley. I actually like Scott Shanley prior to him taking the job as excuses, a person that makes excuses for New Orleans, calling them a functional organization. I don't think they're functional at all. I mean, they're not functioning, taking our money and not giving anything but mediocrity and excuses. That's not what it's supposed to be. The Saints haven't won a Super Bowl in 15 years. They came close with several years back with the NFC Championship game when they cheated the Saints out of it. Well, actually, they did make the 9 call, but Sean Payton came out and said, man, he said he blamed himself for it. People didn't really want to hear it, but I agreed with Coach Payton. When you go back and watch the game, you've seen stuff. You've seen the guy drop the touchdown pass. You've seen Coach Payton he was saying he was being too conservative when McVay was going for it on 4th down. He said he was playing real conservative. He said he shouldn't have made certain calls. So he kind of divested himself emotionally away from it and was like, yeah, that was on me. And I was like, you know what? That's true. I went and watched the game again and I seen what he seen. But like I said, man, this is not how it's supposed to be for the Who Dat Nation. You got players mad and like Lattimore, who was upset, and others about the direction of the team. So it's not just us. People are like, man, we're better than this. That's what I'm coming from. We're better than this. We don't believe in making excuses. We believe in making correct decisions and getting correct results. That's what we want to do. That's what we do. And I hold them to that standard. If they don't like that standard too, goddamn bad. That's how it's supposed to go. Not gonna just sit up here and take money from us and not pay taxes, and we pay the rent, we pay the bill. I mean, come on, man. What we supposed to do here? Come on, show some results. God damn it, win some games. Let's do something here. Let's get back and let's be relevant again. We're not relevant right now. The last 3 years, 3 years, we've not been a relevant, functional football team, regardless of what Shanley said or whatever his name is. Regardless or not, we haven't been. We haven't been successful. We haven't been successful. We haven't been what we known to be, which is the black and gold, the standard of the league with people copying us. We haven't done that. We got to get back to business. That's what I'm saying. Who that's? All right, anyway, back to this. Saints cornerback, more moving forward following the trade chatter. This was something from Yard Barker. They did an article on it, covering basically what Dennis Allen talked about during it. And I want to play this. And I heard what Dennis Allen was saying, and he said a lot of positive stuff insofar as the team and some of the stuff he was talking about with the schedule. But shout out to Mike Triplett once again, who shot that question in right before Dennis Allen got ready to bounce out of there. And he made mention of the Saints saying that the Saints star cornerback, they're moving forward following trade chatter, which kind of left me a little confused, whether they're moving forward together, Marshon, Lattimore, and the Saints together, or are they moving forward in somewhere else? Left a little gray area there. So now we're going to talk about it. Here we go.
Conversations, things come up like that.
That's interesting.
Yeah, what does it say about Brzee that you value his opinion?
What do you think of your draft choices after seeing them?
Yeah, look, I mean, obviously it's really early in the process, and we had probably half of them that participated and half of them that weren't able to participate due to injury, which I don't expect any of those to be anything that's going to keep anybody out long term. But I thought overall I was pleased with what I saw. I think we drafted some guys that I feel like fit what we want to be and being smart, tough, competitive type of guys. And so I thought the one thing that stood out to me, at least initially, was the intelligence level of the players, and I think that's huge in terms of helping us be able to win.
You've been around, you've been around Kubiak before, but now that you've gotten kind of a close-up view, is that kind of solidified why you did what you did?
Yeah, look, I think what we've done offensively and the way that the staff has gelled together, I think has been really good. I think the feedback I've gotten from some of the players has been outstanding in terms of just, the organization, the attention to detail, all the work ethic that's really gone into, getting everything ready for the installations. And yet, look, it really comes down to, how our players can soak up the information and how they can take that information and go ahead and utilize it out on the football field.
Anything jump out with the schedule that was just released? Your schedule, 2020?
No, look, I mean, I see all these things about the schedule and strength of schedule and all these things, and it's like, we're talking about minor percentage points, and nobody really knows who anybody is until we start playing games this year. So I don't really take a lot, out of it. I mean, there's a couple of cold weather games, at the end of the season that I think stand out. I think it's week 5 is the first time that we play, on a grass field. And again, I think we're playing, a pretty good number of, indoor games. So, but yeah, I think, look, the start of the season is going to be, big for us. I mean, it's a tough stretch to start the season out.
I know you've done a deep dive on last year, but you were so close in a lot of those games and couldn't get over the hump. Was there anything that, when you looked at all of that you identified that, hey, we got to do this better?
Yeah, no, I don't think there was one particular thing that stood out that said, okay, this is what we have to do better, other than, look, I think we've got to be able to make plays and clutch moments in the game. And so I think our ability to play in the fourth quarter and our ability to finish in the fourth quarter is going to be critical.
What did you like about Lucas Patrick bringing him aboard?
Well, look, there was a conversation that was had with Brian Brzee, and he once we got him, that was like, this guy was, probably one of the toughest guys that he had to go against, and that's what we saw on tape. What we saw on tape was a highly competitive, tough, going to fight you all the way through the whistle type of player, and so that's what really, kind of got us interested in him. He's smart, which I think is important, particularly at that position.
That's conversations you have in those end of season wrap up meetings all the time to try to identify other players, get intel around.
I think that probably happens throughout the process. I don't know that it happens right at the end of the seasons. Probably, as you're getting into free agency, you'll have those conversations along the way, and they're not all like these planned conversations. They just, things come up like that.
That's interesting.
Yeah, what does it say about Brzee that you value his opinion like that just after 1 year?
Well, let's be perfectly clear about this. The decision was made before Brian gave his recommendation, but look, it is one of those things that when you bring a guy in and your players respect the move. I think that's positive.
Sticking with the defensive line, Chase Young, any updates on him? How's it been since the procedure with him?
Look, things are going well right now. Look, I don't expect to see him out there on the practice field, working anytime soon. He's been able to participate in some of the walkthrough stuff that we've had. I think that'll be the mode that he's going to be in for the majority of this time of year, and then we'll see where we're at when training camp comes around.
What do you anticipate from attendance overall for OTAs?
What do I expect?
Yeah.
Well, I would expect it to be pretty good. I don't expect that we'll have 100% attendance, but I would expect that we'd have a majority of our players be there.
And has there been any further conversation with Marshon Lattimore?
I had a conversation with him probably 2 or 3 weeks ago. I thought it was a positive conversation. And so, we're moving forward.
Okay. That's the Dennis Allen interview, because right after he said that, he then left the podium. And like I said, Triplett asked him the question, stuck it in there, and he just got out of there. He had a positive conversation a couple of weeks ago, and we're moving forward. So we're moving forward. What did you hear? Did you hear we're moving forward, like positive conversation moving forward? I want to say I hope that we're good. We're going to be fine. We're going to stick it out. We convinced Marshon that he's going to remain with the Saints. We're not going to trade him, and we're going to do this. So although I will still keep an eye on that June 1st to start of the regular season timeline that I talked about with you guys a couple of shows ago. I will remain I will remain to keep an eye down there, but hopefully that's a positive thing. Hopefully that's a positive thing. Hopefully, I really do. We had a positive conversation a couple of weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago, and we're moving forward. And the reason why I have some apprehension there, family, I'm going to tell you why. Because 2 to 3 weeks ago, this was, let me show you. I just showed you earlier. This information was out there. The information was out there 2 to 3 weeks ago. This was out there. Mickey Loomis says New Orleans Saints are not actively trying to trade the team's elite corner. So if Dennis Allen's time frame that he gave you, a bit of a clue there, as it were, it will put us during this time frame where Mickey Loomis made this statement about not actively trying to trade the team's elite cornerback. Now, they have not been definitive by saying that we're not trading him at all. We're going to keep him. And the reason why a lot of people kind of look at that for them saying it, because, they're not using definitive words that would say, listen, we're not trading him, forget about it. He's staying, bottom line, nothing to talk about here. But not actively trying to trade. And this happened during the time frame where this alleged conversation happened that Dennis Allen said he had with Marshon Lattimore. So, like I said, you take that as it will, man. And in the end, we'll just move forward and see. I'm hoping for the best, because I really don't want them to trade the man. I hope they can work that out and just keep it moving and grooving. That's what I want to see. What's up, Carla? Shout out to you. True says there needs to be a look counter for Yeah, he does say, what's up, Molly? He does say look a lot. I think that's his Mickey, like Mickey has the wind up, as I call it. They do that, like, look, and that buys them some time to gather, to answer the question. That's just how they address it, That's how they buy time to get their thoughts together while people are asking them questions. Because really, a lot of the questions that the media was asking Dennis Allen, a lot of them he had to kind of dig into his mind on it because he accurately said that we don't know who's who until we start playing football, and that's right. That's absolutely right. All right, what's up? Michael says we just keep chopping wood. I remember him saying that last year. That got old very quick. All right, what's up? So Darktastic. I hope I've said that right. Q, are we expecting a new intro or something for the upcoming season? Perhaps I might have something in store for you guys. You never know with me, man. I like to change it up a bit. Tuck says you can say that when you wake up in the morning. We're moving forward. Yeah, I'm saying to myself, man, I'm hoping everything is what it is, man. And we're all right, man. St. John says didn't really commit to anything with that answer. I know that's what I was saying. I was like, and then the timeline he gave me, maybe go do some research. And like I said, this is where it was. The 2 to 3 weeks ago that he's mentioning in the interview, it puts us right here when Mickey Loomis said we're not actively trying to trade him, which is they had an interview around that same time frame. So, we'll just have to monitor the situation. That's the best way to say it. Barrett says it sounds like riddles to me, Q. Hope they keep them, but the Saints will do what they are going to do moving forward. Indeed. Thank you for that, bro. Appreciate you. Good to see you. All right. What's up, Hoodie? He says, hey, did a live last night about free agents still out there. Who we should sign. I have Simmons, Renfro, and Reisner. Okay, thank you. He says sports CBS said that Saints as best fit for Justin Simmons. Okay, thank you, bro. Appreciate that. And I like Justin Simmons. I just don't think he works for cheap. The Saints don't have a lot of money, but we'll see how that goes, bro, because we'll see. We'll see how it all hashes out. All right. So anyway, let's keep it going. Next on the docket is, it is. Here I go. I'm coming up next. You guys better get ready. I don't have an opening statement. Here I go. It's me.
From the area.
It's Mickey.
They don't have one.
There he is.
You're not waiting for an opening statement from me, are you?
We were hoping.
Because I don't have one. I'm just here to have fun and play golf.
What's your
raise some money for the Hall of Fame?
We didn't talk to you after the draft.
Yeah.
I guess the first question is, for the most part, you kept most of your picks. You didn't trade future capital. You sat still for a couple rounds.
Well, we traded up in the second round a little bit, a few spots, but look, I thought I thought in the first round, we were gonna have to let the draft fall to us, and I think we were fortunate that some players that we really coveted fell to us, and so pretty excited about that.
In general, though, with the spending in free agency and the draft capital, was there a hope that you could get through this offseason by helping the team a little bit, by kind of conserving resources in the big picture as well?
Yeah, I would say that was the mode we were in coming into the off season. Is that look, we need to still recover from some of the cap things that happened in the previous year. So I would say, that was probably the case.
You think you kind of turned the corner in that regard, Mickey, as far as like?
I don't know if "turn the corner" is the right word, but look, I think we're making progress. We're getting back to the feeling comfortable with our playing going forward. We're always looking 2-3 years out in front, and so I think we feel a little more comfortable.
You feel like you're getting that. You've always had like a good young nucleus for a long time. You feel like you're getting that back again?
I feel like, I do feel like we have a good mix of, veteran players and young guys, and I think you're always looking for prospects to turn into contributors to turn into, stars, and I think we have a lot of candidates in both those categories.
Anything jump out with the schedule?
Look, it's always a tough deal for our league. The guys at the league office to create a schedule. They're trying to balance all these different variables. Ratings, obviously number one, and then competitive balance and merit is in terms of playing on prime time, and there's just a lot of variables. So I always look at the schedule is. It is what it is. We're not going to be able to change it once we get it. So once we get it, we just have to, look at the schedule and hey, what are the nuances that we have to plan for?
You think some of the players in last year's draft are ready to make that jump that you talked about?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do.
You never want to have to choose a certain position, but how important do you think it was to find an offensive tackle that you guys believe in the first round?
Well, look, I think whatever you pick in the first round is going to be important, whether you're, adding to a strength of your team or whether you're filling, a particular, hole. Look, I think it was coincidental that this year, the strength in the early part of the draft was offensive line and quarterback, obviously, and man, we had a need at the offensive line, and that strength, turned out to be a good thing for us.
How about quarterback? Drafting Spencer Rattler,
yeah.
Was that, it had to be a certain player, or you were hoping?
Well, no, I think we didn't go into the draft thinking we were going to, need to take a quarterback, and yet there's a guy there that you think a lot of, staring at you in the latter part of the draft, and man, I'm excited to get him, and excited what he did in rookie mini camp, and glad to have him. I think we have a good mix of, veteran player in Derek Carr and two young guys in Jake and Spencer. So excited about that.
Did his arm kind of jump off the charts, actually?
Yeah, I think that did for everyone. This guy's a talented passer.
Back to how you spend in free agency. I think one thing I've noticed is, I don't want to get into specific names too much, but as an example, Andrus Peat stands out as a guy who would have been a nice safety net.
Yeah.
He's played guard and tackle for you, backup quarterback position. You didn't spend a lot of money. Were there areas where, look, we're going to have to go with some young players with some depth, as opposed to wanting to resist that urge to spend $4 or $5 million on a guy who kind of plugs an immediate hole?
Well, look, I think that depends upon the circumstance. Do you have, guys on your roster that you feel comfortable can step up into those roles, or do you feel like you don't? And if you don't, you're going to need to go get get those types of guys. And Andrus is a good example. We made attempts to get him re-signed, and he chose to go someplace else, which that's what free agency is about. And look, Andrus was a good pick for us and played for us for a long time. Excited for him. I know he's got a new chapter. He's probably excited about a new team, and wish him nothing but the best of luck.
You have a lot of new faces on the offensive side of the ball and the coaching side. Clint Kubiak's been here for a while. A lot of the staff got to see him for the first time on the field. Rookie camp, OTA start tomorrow. From your perspective, how have you seen him settle in? How are they coming along? Yeah,
look, I think it's really too soon for me to make any kind of blanket statements or judgments, but clearly he's really smart. They know what they want in terms of the type of players they want at each position, and they obviously have a great scheme and know exactly what what the players are going to be required to do. And right now is just the early process of getting that communicated. Players and coaches getting to know each other, and I think we're off to a good start.
You think the play action pass will make it easier on the offensive line and the quarterback?
Yeah, I think that does for any team. I think that look, it's hard to pass protect in the NFL with the talent on the defensive line. So anything that we can do to give our offensive linemen even a little bit of an advantage would be a good thing.
Ed might have just answered my next question, but what gives you the most optimism that even though he'll be introduced to a new system, that Derek Carr will sort of take the next step forward for this offense in his second year here?
Yeah, look, I think, there's a lot of variables with that, Mike. New system, it's different coaches, but look, there's a lot of crossover between all of these systems. There's a lot of things that Derek's familiar with. He's not a new player. He's a veteran player that's been in several offenses over the years, and he'll adapt really quickly. I'm confident of that. And look, there'll be a familiarity with his teammates that didn't exist last year, and there'll be look, hopefully he can stay healthy all year, and I think we're off to a good start in that regard.
How much do you look forward to just the OTA part of the calendar?
Yeah, I love this part of the season, the off season, the draft, free agency, getting into these OTAs. There's a lot of enthusiasm and optimism, and it's an exciting part of the year.
I apologize if I forget if we've asked you about Chase Young before, but what do you like about his potential? And obviously you knew that the surgery was going to take place and everything,
Yeah.
but what made that all feel good for you guys?
Oh shoot!
Yeah.
I don't know that I've been able to. Look, I think this when he came out, was it 3 years ago? Look, he was one of the best defensive prospects we'd seen in a while, and he had a great first season. Then he's dealt with some injuries and some circumstances that are both within his control and out of his control, and you get a player that's got a bit of a chip on his shoulder and ready to prove something with his level of talent is exciting for us. And look, I'm excited because he's excited. He's excited to be here with this group, and he's been very enthusiastic. He's dove into the deep end of the pool with us. There's no toe in the water with him, and all that is really exciting.
All right, that was Mickey, and of course, one of the big things that Mickey had talked about here was he made mention of the fact the Andrus Pete situation that occurred with Andrus. They attempted to try to re-sign Andrus Pete, but Andrus decided to go somewhere else, and Andrus like, no, I'm good. I've been there, done that. I'm going to go to the other side of things. So they went to the Raiders. So that was interesting that they try to bring Andrus Pete back, so if they would have signed Andrus back, would have been interesting to see which direction the Saints would have went in the draft. That would have been interesting. Would they still had tried to get another tackle, or would have been interesting to see just how that would have went. But, John said, John said the question, do you think Rattler has a good arm? Do you think play action will help your offense? Come on. They got to ask him something, bro. Do you think, just softballing it up, bro, softballing it up. But, man, like I said, not all of them is, not all those guys asking the question the truth. I'm just going to be honest with you. I've named a handful of them that will get you the information. We wouldn't have had the information we would have had about Laddie Daddy today if it wasn't for Mike Triplett asking him at the back in the interview. And right after he asked that question, Dennis Allen said, okay, guys, I'm out of here. So that was big impressive. If Triplett didn't ask that question, the biggest news you probably would have got out the presser was the fact that Mickey talked about trying to re-sign Andrus Pete. So, just interested, man, to be honest with you, man. But like I said, you got to press on. And some of them, man, some are better than others, just to keep it real with you, man. But anyway, let's go to the last one. And this is our guy, Cam Jordan. Always Cam, man. Cam's always coming up with some stuff. Here's Cam Jordan, fam.
The off season for the organization, how do you think it's gone?
Are we talking about just encompassing the entire off season? I think that would we have like 90% participation for the OTAs part of it. I think that's excellent. I think that we drafted to our needs. I'm excited. I got another D tackle. In my mind, I'm always going to go draft 7 D tackles throughout all our rounds, but it's cool. I think where we're headed is hopefully towards a better playoff picture.
What about Chase in terms of having him on that defensive line when he finally gets healthy and he gets out there for you guys?
I'll answer that when he's healthy and able to hit. I know he had neck surgery. I couldn't even tell you which vertebrae situation that is, but we see him in the building every day, and every day he's out there rehabbing right beside me. So it's great to see him, and we can't wait to actually put some pads on. Right now, this is all just speculation until we put pads on, until we start hitting people, until we get through preseason, and once we start to see some live bullets, I'll know exactly what we're dealing with. But this is the time for speculation, isn't it?
Absolutely.
How is your rehab going?
It's going, almost to where I want to be. I wouldn't say exactly where I want to be, but we're headed there. We're trending.
I heard somebody say that you look skinny.
I appreciate that.
So, what have you been able to do?
Not eat. Yeah, a lot of not eating because you're not working as hard. I mean, almost cleared for running. Like we're pretty much there. We're getting closer. Once I get clear for this running, yeah, we're gonna take off.
What does that mean for the next 4 weeks?
Great
Nothing on the
question.
field, or-
Ooh, it is the time for speculation, isn't it? No, I think that there's a game plan that's put in place, and I think should see some field, maybe, most likely, hopefully.
Walking through at least.
I mean, we've been walking through for a couple weeks now. Walking through is not the issue. I think with more time, this thing will heal, and that's all we're sort of dealing with. We're just working with time. It's not like there's any adverse reactions that I've had, so everything's going according to plan.
Speaking of speculation, could we ask you about the game on October 17th? What is it going to be like to see Sean wearing a different visor?
Is that the 7:00 p.m. Thursday night game?
Yes.
Not that.
How weird is that going to be just to see him on a different sideline for a guy who coached you pretty much your entire career?
It's fun. Yeah, it's fun. It's like I said, it's not that I've like circled it on a calendar or like marked it down that we have to win that game, but it feels like we have to win that game. Everybody knows who Sean Payton is. We can't let him. Can't let him do that one.
Speaking of the schedule, we've seen some of your thoughts on social, but overall, what do you think?
Overall, we have a schedule that we have to walk down. I think I settled my initial reactions on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, and everybody feels like I think we have. They said it's a sort of relatively easy schedule. I don't get what's easy in the NFL, but I think that there's games that we can win and hopefully take advantage of, and there's games that we have to overcome elements.
You feel like last year was a missed opportunity?
I feel like every year we're not in the playoffs is a missed opportunity. I'm in my second time going 3 years without playoffs. I think the first one was 14, 15, 16, something like that, 15, 16, 17. And now we're in a stint where we have to get out this rut. And hopefully this is, like I said, this is the year we push for playoffs, and I don't want to push for playoffs. I feel like there's a Super Bowl in New Orleans, and if there is one here, then I feel like we should be there. But that's how I feel every year, so what do I know?
Perfect. Thank you.
All right, Cam Jordan, man. Cam, you talking like we want to hear, man. You talking like how we want to hear our players talk. We want the playoffs. We're not a bottom-feeding team. We are a very talented, loaded team with talent all over the place. And we deserve playoffs. This is not a rebuilding team insofar as we done lost this and that and the third. Saints have been at the line for the last 3 years. It's time to get over that line. Not only get over that line, but win the playoffs game. Not only just get to the playoffs, but win the playoff game. Let's not just get to the playoffs like we said with the Pelicans. Let's just get to the playoffs. Pelicans get to the playoffs, and they got to the playoffs, and they ain't do nothing when they got there. Just got beat the hell up. We need the Saints to get to the playoffs and at least win a game, win one, and just keep it pushing. But like I said, when you think about the New Orleans Saints team, like I said before, I feel the exact same way Cam Jordan feels. And I have to agree when he talks like that. We are a playoff team, and we are being up to me. I'm thinking we are a playoff team, and we are a lot better than what we've been showing over the last several years. No doubt about it, in my opinion. And that's where the frustration comes in, is that we are better than this. We are better than this, way better than this, way better than this. And that's my frustration. Anyway, let's look at this, fam. Information right here. Saints, and this is some scheduling just to make you guys aware of it. It's showing you that the first two are expired the first day. You're looking at the rookie mini camp dates, and of course coming up May the 21st through the 23rd is the OTA off-season workouts. That's the off-season workouts for the Saints, and then they break on the 23rd, and then they come back for the May the 28th and May 30th. And then they break again, and then they come back June 3rd through the 6th. Then they break, and then they come back June 11th through 13th for the mandatory minicamp. So these are your OTAs, OTA dates and timelines. So tomorrow they'll have some stuff going on in terms of workouts and they're voluntary workouts just to let the family know. Don't expect too much from the veterans that are dealing with the issues. The media is invited to cover the OTAs, and the family members are not allowed. So we should be getting something, out of it. We'll see if they have a veteran or two that they'll bring in or something like that. But overall, the OTAs are just the workouts voluntarily wise. So they're anticipating. That's what people's asking, what are you anticipating? And Cam mentioned it, pretty high turnout. And usually that should be the case when you have a lot of people coming to the team, and the team is kind of not been doing what it's supposed to. So you'll see a lot of guys step in and get the process going early. And that's always a good thing, man, because we really need to turn this around this season. Please, no more garbage time football. Please, no more misrepresenting the Who Dat Nation. They deserve way better than what we've been getting over the last 3 years. And we're not taking it no more, man. We're not putting up with the excuses. We're not putting up with the distraction bull crap. We're not putting up with people soft shoeing for the Saints and paid people coming up and spinning narratives. This is a functional team. We're not putting up with none of that, brother. I'm sorry. Our patience is at an end, and y'all notice when y'all hear me talk, you hear frustration in my voice because I'm not playing it no more. I'm not putting up with it no more. I'm not playing that no more. Y'all gonna make a change. Y'all will make a change. We need to. My patience has run out. I'm sorry, fam. And that's what you hear when you listen to the show, and family like, Q, you've been hitting them hard out. Yes, because I'm tired. I'm sick of people making fun of the Saints. I'm tired of the people laughing at the Saints. I'm tired of the Saints doing crazy stuff, infighting, off-code coach, off-code general manager, talking crazy, misdirection, not taking responsibility for your action, quarterback, staring people down. Just tired of the BS. And it's time for the Saints to do what they're supposed to do, which is to take the NFC South and ultimately get into the playoffs and at least win a playoff game. At least. It's not too much to ask for. We've provided you the resources. We've given you everything that we've got. It's time for you to pay it back. And we're not giving any more. I'm sorry, we're not. We're not giving you any more than what we've given you. And it's time for you to show what, show out. We're not doing it no more. Your time, it's what it is, fam. Our patience has run out. We're not doing it anymore. I'm sorry. You don't have the same people back in the day, blindly following the same. We're not blindly following you guys. No. Enough is enough. It's time to put up or shut up. Bottom line. Hell. Anyway, yeah, man. Big ups to the fam, man. Appreciate y'all being here, man. Like I said, I wasn't gonna try to keep y'all. I just wanted to go over some of these interviews. There was the Cesar Ruiz interview. I just don't have time for that one today, but shout out to Cesar Ruiz. And listen, we learned some stuff. Hopefully, we heard what Dennis Allen said with the Lattimore thing. He said it's positive and they're moving forward. A little gray area there, but hopefully, the Saints stay with Lattimore. The Saints are better with Marshon Lattimore. Keep them, along with the secondary we have. And of course, we know Paulson Adebo's contract is coming up next year, and he's going to be looking to get paid just like Laddie Daddy got his bread. Tyrann Matthews getting a little older. We see what Jordan Howden looks in the second year. I like some of the defensive acquisitions that the Saints have to improve the defense, like I spoke about. But really, like I said before I go, it really comes down to the offense and Clint Kubiak, who has a ton of pressure on him. So unfair, but it is what it is. A ton of pressure on him to establish the Saints' identity, offensively speaking, and then get the running game going, and then bring Derek Carr into it and have success and win while they're learning. Now, we don't expect them to win all those games, but I can expect, hopefully, a better offensive performance than what we had last year. Like I said, man, I think his system, and you kind of go back to the Minnesota year when he was there with Minnesota, how everybody looked. He has a lot of really good weapons, kind of mirroring what he had in Minnesota. And like I said, his system, he got to have a active fullback. I think he has CJ Ham up there, the fullback, who's pretty decent fullback at the time when he was up there. Hopefully, we'll see who our fullback is. Is Xander Horvath, or if do they use Taysom Hill like Kyle Juszczyk role to do that? Well, it all come down to it. So I'm gonna be key. I know the defense will be fine. I really do think that offensively is where I'll be paying attention to. That's where the most turnover was. Establishing what the Saints are going to do. I'm really looking forward to seeing that 49er style defense implemented in the black and gold building. I like the motions, the double motions, and I like the activity of the offense. I really do. And if they can at least get half of that, that'll be pretty good. But I'm really looking forward to running the football because the Saints have a very stocked running back room. It's the best unit offensively speaking. Is the running back room with AK-41, Jamal Williams, LaKendre Miller, and throw Taysom in there. That is a solid unit with backs that you can use, all of if you wanted to, you could take three of them guys and roll them out. I mean, they're so versatile. The Saints have a very versatile offensive unit, and I'm looking forward to seeing what it looks like under Clint Kubiak. So that is going to be the thing that I will keep my eyes on moving into the season, man. It's going to be pretty fire, man, watching that offense going. All right, Pammy says, me too, Q, because if the Saints get ran out of the building by Dallas, I'm walking to New Orleans, the whoop DA myself. Yeah, we have that schedule, like I said, how they opened it up with the Saints starting off with Carolina, then the Saints hit the road for a couple of games, and they come home for one, then going around. I mean, it is, you get a little road weary early on. But, like I said, I think a lot of the games the Saints have is if they could, if like I said, it's all dependent on what Clint Kubiak does. If he can establish the running attack, because I have faith in the running back room. I ain't gonna lie to you. I have faith in the running back room. I haven't lost faith in Alvin Kamara. I lost faith in Dennis Allen and Mickey Loomis, but not in Alvin Kamara, not in Jamal Williams, not in Kendre Miller, not in Taysom Hill, not in Chris Olave, not in Rashid Shaheed, not in Jawan Johnson. I haven't lost faith in those guys. I think they're very talented. We just need the right mind that's disciplined, attention, detail-centered, and a person that knows what they're doing and that has a high degree of accountability, because we're going to need that as well to step up and do what they got to do. And I'm not a Derek Carr basher or vandalizer. How about that? A Carr vandalizer. I think Derek Carr is good how you use him, like toward the back end of the year, like we talked about in the previous stream when they were heaping all these statistical accolades on Derek Carr in the last 5 or 6 games of the year. But I was like, man, span out the whole picture. The whole picture wasn't just that Carr all of a sudden he started knowing what to do. No, the Saints offensively collectively played better. The offensive line played better blocking wise. They started running the ball and looked good running the ball over those span of games. And the offense came a lot. And the play action got going. The play action is very big, especially for a Derek Carr. Any quarterback, to be honest with you, especially one that has a gun for an arm like Derek Carr has, that loves to throw the ball. He's a gunslinger, likes to throw that ball deep, explosive plays, which the Saints have the horses to go and get it. You give him a play action game, and with the running attack, that's just the type of offense that he would shine in. Now, of course, he's not perfect, but if you give him that, like when most quarterbacks and have a halfway idea what to do, they will put up some hefty numbers if you can give them that. But the problem was we didn't consistently run the ball well because of poor offensive line production, and that put pressure on the quarterback, which, you can see how that ended up. But like I said, I think in the end, if Clint Kubiak is who we think he is, by the research we've done, then he's more than capable of taking the Saints, establishing a running attack, finding the right people to do what they got to do, and let's move this thing forward, because I want to get back to the playoffs. I want to win the playoff game. We must be relevant again we're not relevant and we're not functional if we're not making the playoffs. And we're one of the oldest teams in the NFL. We're wasting away our talent. We've got to stop this. We must get back into the playoffs and be relevant again. We can't let the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, how many, they won it like 3 years in a row. How many years did the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, hold on, let me look this up. People talking, let me throw this at Shanley talking that relevant crap. You see NFC South. Hold on, let me look it up right quick. Because I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers might have won like 3 times in a row, didn't they? Yep. Here it is right here, fam. I got it on the screen right here. Y'all see that? This goes back to 2002. But the Saints won it 4 in a row from 2017 to 2020. And then the Buccaneers won it 3 years in a row, 21, 22, and 23. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and last year I can understand what Tom Brady was there because Tom Brady is what he is. But they had Baker Mayfield last year, and that was supposed to be the Saints' time. So they've won it 3 years in a row. You're not functional and you're not relevant. If you're not the Saints, Saints are super talented, very super uber talented team with all kind of phenomenal talent on the team. Awesome players everywhere. The Saints should be the NFC South champions last year, this year, and we are not doing that, and we need to get back to being relevant again. We need to get back to dominating like we were from 2017 to 2020. We've got to get back to that. We've got to get back on code again. All right. Anyway, yeah, this is what we got. All right, Warrior Niners race. So who that? You guys ready for the 2 running back system? Kamara and Miller going hard this season. You guys ready for the screen game, heavy run game, controlling the clock, defense, staying fresh, playoffs, baby. Thank you, Warrior. Appreciate you there. All right, Rico says, how do you think about the first 5 games for the Saints? Pretty difficult, man. There's some difficult games right there. Let me see if I can prop the schedule up for the family members. Here, hold on. Give me a second. Let me put the schedule up right quick. Yeah, we got some they ain't the schedule makers ain't do the Saints any favors, to be quite honest with you. In the 2024 season, they really didn't. You know, they don't do the black and gold no favors anyway. But yeah. Hold on, yeah. Put it up. Here we go. There it is. All right, so yeah, there it is right there on the screen. The first 5 games, man. You got the Carolina Panthers. I said that's a win. The Cowboys, Eagles, Falcons, and then the Chiefs before we see the Bucks October the 13th. But the first 5 games going to be pretty difficult. Having the Falcons early was interesting because we had them we didn't see the Falcons to after the bye week last year. And then we seen them toward the end of the season. I was hoping for a schedule like that because I like to see the Falcons play the Falcons at the end of the season as opposed to the Carolina Panthers. I think that gives it more relevancy because if we play the Falcons at the end of the season, that more than like that end of the season matchup rivalry feel is just a better game than the Carolina game. No disrespect, but we've been seeing the Carolina game this year is Tampa Bay. But really, I would have liked to see one of them Atlanta games, probably when the November the 10th game be toward the back end of the year in week 18, but it didn't schedule it like that. But Dallas is going to be tough. Philly's going to be tough. The first Falcons game, and that's going to be in the Georgia Dome or whatever they call it now. And then that game against Patrick Mahomes boys in KC will be interesting. So yeah, it's going to be fun because the Dallas game, that's an early game. Some of these games like that Dallas, Philly, and Atlanta games, I'd rather them to be in the second month or maybe the second month or even into the third month when we had at least a month worth of games under our belts before we had an opportunity to go against these difficult teams. Because, Philly's going to be a team to look out for in the NFC South. I mean, NFC South in the NFC conference. So we have to watch out for Philly because they're going to be a team to watch out for. And of course, the rivalry of Atlanta, that puts a little added spice there. But Dallas too, because these are 2 of our biggest rivalries that we have. Atlanta's the biggest rivalry the Saints have. Going east and going west is Dallas. So anytime the Saints and Dallas play is must-see football, same as the Falcons. So we're seeing our two biggest rivals inside of the month of September. So September is going to be an interesting month because it usually takes the Saints about 2 weeks to a month for their system, for them to kind of get used to of building a system and playing together to know what they're going to do. Last year was a bit more complicated. It took the Saints like 2.5, 3 months into the season before they started to see something, to be something consistently. You know what I mean? But like I said, having Dallas in week 2 and Philly in week 3 and Atlanta in week 4 and then Kansas City in week 5, it's not going to be easy. But hell, it's not going to be easy. But I think Carolina's a win. No disrespect to Carolina, but that game against Carolina's a win. And then the rest of those games, Cowboys, Philly, Atlanta, and KC, that could, if you don't handle it right, you could be starting in the bottom. You could come out this thing behind. So they're going to be tested early. Listen, don't get it twisted. Those you said 5, those first 5 games, I mean, kicking out Carolina, no disrespect, Saints should beat Carolina. But Dallas and Eagles and Falcons and KC, if you don't handle it right, you could be in a hole. So it's going to be fun, man, to watch out for. We'll see. Tuck says you got to have some faith in the offensive line team. Yeah, I like McCoy. I like McCoy a lot. And I was talking about my skill set players. I didn't mention my old lineman, but I do like Eric McCoy. The football player, Eric McCoy, not the landscaper. But Cesar Ruiz didn't have a great year last year, but I chalk a lot of that up to Doug Marrone because whatever he was doing, it wasn't effective consistently. Then it kind of caught on toward the back end of the year. But not only, and I talk about Clint Kubiak because obviously he's the offensive coordinator, but really John Benton, and I played John Benton's interviews on this show before. John Benton is a very solid offensive line coach. He's very good. So keeping an eye out on, Clint Kubiak, but really Clint Kubiak's system don't mean a hill of beans if John Benton, the offensive line coach that he brought here, doesn't do what he needs to do. And that is the thing. Benton is very good at what he does from an offensive line perspective. So I'm really looking forward to see him take Cesar Ruiz and McCoy and Fuaga and take Penning and take those guys to the next level. I'm really looking forward to it. Benton is a very good offensive line coach. So it's going to be fun seeing him get those guys going, man. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, Tuck, thank you. 504 Secure, I don't see how they're saying this schedule is easy. They face, it gets because they're looking at the strength of schedule, which is a combination of records from last year that they put into a percentage and say this is what this is, which is what's the word? I'm trying to pick the word, which is foolishness. I mean, in theory, usually this is a combination of people, this, that, and the third, but you really can't use that for looking ahead in terms of the season, the strength of schedule, all this kind of stuff, because that's not the same teams that you're going to be matching up. I mean, these teams undrafted, they done signed people. A lot of these teams have gotten better, so it's not quite the same when you talk of strength of schedule. So I'm not going to kind of buy into that because this year they're saying that the strength of schedule is supposed to be weak based on that. But I'm not going to go with that because like I said, it looks rough early, but then you kind of you got games that you take on Tampa Bay, and Tampa Bay is not going to be an easy win. Sean Payton's game and we know Sean Payton's coming here. We got to whoop on him. You got John Harbaugh with the Chargers. You got to do something with them, and then you got the Browns. You got the Rams with McVay. He's always difficult to beat. You got the Giants. We don't know what the Giants are going to be. If Daniel Jones is healthy, Malik Neighbors and those guys are there, who knows what's going on with that? And that's a cold game. And that's what I was saying during the schedule, that they put a lot of the cold games toward the back end of the year. And the Saints, they don't do well in these cold games. So we looking at the Giants as a dub. And based on how the situation is on December the 8th in New York, because you got to go to get, what is it called, MetLife Stadium? You got to go up there to play them in probably going to be snowy weather in December. When is that? Early December. It might be snowing up there. I know for a fact it's going to be snowing in Green Bay. That's 2 days before Christmas when you go to see Green Bay. So, you know, the Saints have some work to do, you know, toward the back end of the season with those cold games. And when before they realized, like, hoping those cold games, those games of Green Bay will be early in the season, but they put them right in the cold. So the Saints have cold games, and they don't really do too well in these cold games. So we have to keep an eye. And usually with cold games, the answer to cold games is a running attack and defense. That's what helps you in these cold games, a running attack and defense. So the Saints defense, I think they're going to be pretty decent. John Benton, we'll see what he can do offensive line wise. So like I said, I do like the acquisitions of some of the people offensively, John Benton and Clint Kubiak, Coach Dub at the wide receivers, the former Baltimore coach, wide receivers coach over here, taking over from Cody Burns. Like him a lot. He's a really solid dude. So I do like a lot of the offensive pickups. Clancy Barone he's going to do a really good job from the tight end position. Since last year, he's been doing a good job. So we'll see what it all looks like moving forward. Even got a new running backs coach too. Don't forget that. Got a new running backs coach over here. Came over from the Chargers. Really smart dude, by the way. Really smart dude. All right. So anyway, with that being said, fam, I'm gonna get ready to get out on that. I appreciate you guys for chiming in on the show tonight, man. Listen, I know 3 years. It's we gotta get through it, regardless of what this schedule is and how they put it together. The Saints have to get to the playoffs. They got to break this ugly streak of not making the playoffs. Like I just showed you the graphic where the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have won the NFC South 3 times in a row. You know, and really, no disrespect to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but the Saints really we got to change all that, man. We got to change that dynamic. We got to change all this up, man. We got to change it up. It starts this year. We got to change it up. All right, so anyway, we're going to get out on that. Listen, I appreciate you guys for chiming in. Please feel free to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Feel free to share the show on your social media feed. Check out the links in the description section. Also, feel free to support our contributors at thewhothatdaily.com. That's our website that's been going on for about 4 or 5 years. Thewhothatdaily.com has been doing their thing, and we continue to grow. That's our own site, delivering all the news for the Who Dat Nation. And of course, there was a poll that was in the chat, 140 plus people. Thank you guys for voting in that poll. What grade would you give the Saints in the offseason? And 47% of the people polled gave the Saints a B, and 30% gave the Saints a C, and 1% says D or less, which is a positive. So the family members giving the Saints, okay, we've done a B. We've done a B. We've added some talent there. We'll be okay. We'll do what we're supposed to do. We'll handle the business. You know, Eugene says dropping in late from Philly, but best believe I'll like and watch from the beginning. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you, brother Eugene. Be safe up there, man. Listen, fam. Yeah, Tuck says Harbaugh. Yeah, Harbaugh is stripping down offense to the studs. Charger will take a minute. Yeah, Justin Herbert still a force. He's still a phenom. We got to watch out for that guy. I don't know. All right. So anyway, with that being said, I'm out of here, man. Listen, I appreciate y'all, man. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and share the show on the social media feed. If you're on Twitter, give me a retweet. If you're on Instagram, give me a like and a share. Big ups to the fam, and I'm going to holler at y'all on Patreon Tuesday tomorrow. Fam will be representing on Patreon Tuesday tomorrow. If you want to join us, be on there as well. And we'll talk some more. Much love to the fam. That's it.
Yeah, boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports Coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your chain for the championship. Fucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy, then you probably smell the crooked referees or Roger Goodell. Yeah, probably like this, and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this, and I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
WhoThatDaily.com. That's right, WhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, WhoThatDaily.com is your site. WhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who That in all of us. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. And remember, it helps the platform continue.